Welcome to the AI for Interior Designers podcast, where creativity meets cutting edge technology. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence and explore how it's revolutionizing the interior design industry. From AI powered design tools to the latest trends and innovations, we've got you covered. So plug in, relax, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Welcome to AI for Interior Designers podcast. P.S. This intro was written by and voiced by AI to sound like your host, Jenna Gaidusek.
Hey designers, welcome back for episode 68 of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Gaidusek. And today I want to talk about how the internet is dead and what that means. So last week, the first episode of January, I kind of talked about how those of us that were born in, late 80s or millennials, we grew up in the best time. We had both worlds where we were able to adapt, analog and then move into digital and still hold on to the values that we were raised with when it comes to how we like to live our life offline, right? I think a lot of us, we are in the the messy middle right now in our lives or careers or, whatever. And a lot of us don't have the time to slow down and really think about where we are in this place because we're like, okay, we got soccer practice. We got to get the kids ready for this. We got to go and do that. And it's just go, 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 go constantly. And a lot of my thinking time, times that I used to just take my shower and get to think about stuff and not have, hey mom, I need blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, can I just get 5? Please. But now I've had a little bit more time at night where I just kind of stay up and, detach from the world and go through this time of the day where it's like nobody needs me. Nobody needs me and I can just be. And I love that part of my day. Unfortunately, I've been falling asleep really early and getting up really early this week, and I hate it because I'm like, where's my 1 a.m. free time? I need this time to myself. But during those times, I do kind of find myself going down crazy rabbit holes. And it's funny because I think I might have even talked about this last time, but I saw this hilarious reel about it. And here I am about to talk about how the internet is dead, but still 1 a.m. I find myself in rabbit holes or just stuck in a loop where I cannot stop watching videos. And I'm like, why am I doing this? So I'm going to definitely be hating myself in the morning for this, but I just can't turn it off, because it is the only time that I get to myself. It's also the time that I feel like really getting the clarity in what is really happening in the world. And maybe that's just, we'll say, my perspective clarity, okay? Because we all have our different perspectives. We all see things differently, obviously, from the ways that we were raised, the way that we're going through different situations in our experiences. And we all will see what's going on in the world right now and have different opinions or perspectives as to what that looks like, good or bad. We're all going to see it in a different way. And so staying up late and hearing stories and seeing different things, it just helps me to connect the pieces and do it in a way that I feel like I can compartmentalize what's going on and be able to process it a little bit more than going through my day at 100 miles an hour and then never truly processing the things that are happening and how that's affecting personally, us, our families, our immediate neighborhood, and then the world in general. So being able to have this time is, if it's for you in the morning, awesome. If it's a late thing for you, awesome too. I wish that I could just kind of sit down and write and get my ideas out because I do enjoy doing that, but I have no time because I know the second I were to sit down and actually do that, I would be interrupted. So my decompression time is actually scrolling on the internet at, 10 to 1 a.m. That's my detachment zone. But with that being said, I am so over the internet. I'm so over it. And I'm not saying I'm on Instagram scrolling. Generally I'm not actually. I will have sometimes it's just YouTube. And then I go down like rabbit holes where I'm like, oh, well, I want to learn about that tonight. And oh, well, I just learned about that. What does that have to do with this? And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Jenna, you need to get like maybe other hobbies. But I love history and then like kind of how that connects to the future, which again is coming full circle with everything that was talking about. So I love documentaries about history, but I love biographies. And that's always kind of been my thing. Like if I were to read a book, which I hate reading, I am not a reader, guys. Like I do not enjoy it, have never enjoyed it. I am not good at it, to be totally honest with you. I just jump all over the page and it's so I'm just not a good reader. So anyway, I tend to consume either with audio or with video. Video for me is how I absorb the most and visually, I just need that. That's just my learning style. So, watching videos and documentaries about history and also future. So, like, I'm kind of in this weird those are my those are my kinks, guys. Like, I love history and I love future stuff. Like, that's my doc and I like true crime. So, I am always kind of like looking at that type of stuff. And so I will put on a documentary or I will find a topic and then I will learn everything that there is to know about that topic. And this also might be ADHD. So oh, it definitely is. I mean, I have that, but, it could be that, and that's the reason, and maybe other people that are normal don't do these things. Maybe so, anyway, I go down these rabbit holes, and learning about history and also learning about the future and tech and all that stuff and learning about people because I've always just loved to learn about people. And so the books that I would read were biographies. I find people fascinating. I find human brains and the way that we act and just live is fascinating to me. And that's probably why I pursued interior design because I feel like your home is I mean, not just a reflection of you with the things that you put in it, but the energy in your home dictates how you live your life. And if your energy in your house is not settled, or if it is uncomfortable or not functional, it's going to relay into everything you do in your day to day. Like, you're going to start out your morning miserable, you're going to leave your house miserable, and then it's going to have a chain reaction in how you treat others throughout the day and then how they treat others. So all of this stuff, just learning from history, learning about, architecture, the history of architecture, the history of families and biographies, and just like why and how things started and why they are the way they are today and who was the person that made them that way. That's what I'd love to figure out. So, through all of my late night deep dives on whatever platform has the best information, I look at it and I take all of it in with a grain of salt because I know that half of what I'm reading is not real or half of the comments are bots. And there's just so much misinformation. Like I just know that at this point. And the fact that people take what they read on the internet and they're like, well, it's from an expert. Who's that expert? Did you research them? Like, what are the credentials? Does that person exist? Like those types of rabbit holes where I'm like, okay, this is cool, but who published it? Is it a legitimate thing? Let's go down that rabbit hole. How long is the string? I look for truth. I look for purpose. I look for fact. And that's how I like to create my perspective, I guess we'll say, my opinions and my overall ideology on whatever that topic was that I uh, was learning about that night. So when I'm on the internet, and I've been feeling like this now, honestly, for about 2 years, I don't feel connected to social. I don't like if I'm on social media, I feel a massive disconnect from the human part of the social. I feel that it is more algorithm fed, here's what we want you to know today type of information versus I have specifically curated my algorithm to show me the things that I'm interested in. The social media platforms are owned and managed and pushed and operated by the people that created them or now own them. And they always have an ulterior motive to why they have a social media platform. Mark Zuckerberg did not steal and then create social media for Facebook because he had a ton of friends and wanted to talk to them. He was a bitter, sad little man that got power hungry and then created something and now has too much power and it is ruining everything, right? That's how that goes. They're not doing these things for us. They don't make social media for us to connect with people, okay? Like, when we first started the Facebook, like, group whole thing, right? Like, everybody was in Facebook groups, and honestly, for a while there, that was, like, the only reason why I was going to Facebook, and then I felt like, well, these groups are now just basically pumping out AI and trash just to have, and I'm not talking about the, interior design ones, I'm just talking about, like, my hobby groups that I was in. It's just AI, and they would, like, pump out misinformation or fake information and fake AI imagery to tell, like, a story. Because I like to read about, like, historical biographical stories about, like, how well, I think I've already said that, but I like to also watch those types of videos too. And Facebook, there's some, like, old weird history things that I like to follow, but then they all turn into AI slop, and it just I was like, "I can't believe that that story is true because you used AI images, and now, like, there's no way for me to even, like, figure out if that was a legitimate story or not because there's so much convoluted information on the internet about specific topics, right? So, everything I feel like I read or see or consume on social media, unless if it came from a person specifically speaking about their personal experience, I don't believe it. And because of that, I don't want to be there. I don't want to spend my time rotting my brain, right? Like, that's also why I never got on TikTok because I know I would. Like, I know my deep dives on TikTok would have been ridiculous, but I just couldn't do it to myself because I was already trying to, show up on Instagram and other platforms and spend my energy there. But I I get on these socials and I'm like, "That's a bot, that's a bot, that's a bot." And the bots have arguments with the other bots, and, you do your research on dead internet theory, and you find that the reports are coming out saying that literally half of the comment sections are bots, whether they're AI or some other format of bot, like admin bot or, a something that is, like, there for engagement to, like, keep the comments, and then some that are there just to tear people apart, right? So these bots are in the comment sections of these social platforms to divide. The algorithms are there to show you what they want you to see. Yeah, you're gonna see your cool little cat videos every few, but then you're gonna get ad and ad and ad because they're free. So when I see people like, well, stupid Instagram did this and stupid TikTok did that, and it's like, yeah, but do you pay for it? Like, that's a free service to the entire world. Of course they're gonna ruin it and try and like manipulate you in whatever way they can. They have the technology. They want to make money. And that's how they do it, right? So, with all of us caught up in all this, nobody really, and I'm not going to say nobody, but people are starting to wake up to it. The majority of people that joined social media later were either hesitant for a reason because they kind of saw this, but then in the end they were like, "Ugh, well, I'd rather, see what people are doing and maybe try and make some friends on there." Um, or they're maybe like my parents and were just later to join a lot of these platforms because, they were working, living, and didn't have time for a social. And usually that generation is one of the later generations to join a platform. And then, well, it's kind of dead now. Now I got to get off this one. um, I'm just kidding. But they, the things just, they shift and they change. And it goes from one billionaire owned social media platform to another. And it's always the same thing now. It's just ads and it's just anger and it's divide and misinformation. And I don't want to do that anymore. I'm showing up on Instagram right now because I feel like I have to say these things, right? Like feel like if I don't say these things, then, there's no paper trail that this stuff was said. And so that's kind of why I put them in there. Also, knowing that they will be suppressed, knowing that if I do speak out about any of this stuff, and speak negatively against the overlords of the socials, then that gets suppressed because it's not their agenda. Free speech is in jeopardy, right? That's why I'm doing a podcast episode about this. But the internet is bullshit. And the information has taken a massive turn towards what's real and what's not. Even when you do your own research, right? It's like, okay, but like that's just something somebody put on the internet one day on a website. I've made 10,000 websites. If I just wanted to go put some misinformation on a website for the internet that I hope people will find in a search and take for fact, then yeah, I could do that. Anybody could do that. So now it's like, what is real? What was real? And it's kind of messing with our perspective of what we used to know and what we think we know and what the truth might be and how it is currently being represented on the internet. Has it been stripped of the truth? Has it been entirely changed? The whole narrative has been entirely re evolved into something entirely different to fit a certain story. I just know that there's so many easy ways to override information on the internet that I don't believe anything that I read unless if I have significant sources or firsthand information to back it up. And so therefore, when I'm searching on, social media or something for a specific topic, I don't really look at major news outlets anymore because the majority are sold out at this point. But I do look at, and I don't want to call them influencers because I hate that word, but I look at independent people. I look at people that don't have a massive following, and maybe they're building one because people are, finding them and they're like, oh, you speak truths. But I try and find people, and this is the only reason why I'm still on socials and contributing to them, that tell their truth, that speak to say the truth and let others know with knowing what the consequences could potentially be of speaking that truth and then putting it on a site that they don't own, that is owned by people that probably want to defend somebody else, doing bad things. So all of it is so messed up right now, right? So finding people and finding connections on the internet, I'm still looking for real. I'm looking for human. Don't care if you wear a filter on your face, go for it. I do all the time because like I'm tired on Instagram. So I don't care, but I don't want it to be an AI version. I want it to be you speaking to me when I consume the information that you have to say to me, right? That's how we do it in face to face. And going back to what I talked about last week, face to face human in person interaction has never been more important in the world of artificial intelligence and AI and the tech boom than it is right now. Going out and making human connections as we watch jobs disappear daily with people being laid off left and right. If you want to make a connection and if you want to build something tangible in this world, find the humans that can make that happen. As somebody that started an online company 10 years ago, 2016 is when I first officially launched my AI for interior designers, e-design. Oh my gosh. Well, how many businesses have I had in the past 10 years? Jenna Gaidusek Designs was the first and still my design company. And then e-design tribe, Facebook group, which was when people were still people on Facebook. And that was in 2018, sold that in 2022. And then, 2023 started AI for interior designers. So I've seen the internet evolve. I was one of the first people on Facebook in college. And then I watched it get destroyed. I grew up with MySpace. Like MySpace was what we had in middle school and high school. And then came Facebook, and I resisted Facebook. I was one of the last of my friends to get on Facebook. Like, I got on, I think the week I graduated high school, and everybody else was on for a year. And I was like, no, that's awful. I'm gonna stay on MySpace. And everybody else was like on the other one. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then the addiction started, right? Like it was just like, how can we make this feed never ending? And then we were like, well, we gotta feed the feed. And then it just became a problem. We find solutions for systems that these programs and software have created for us. And we look for the best way to profit because we're humans, we got to feed our family, and to connect because humans want to connect. That is the only driver to like our hardwiring. Like, we need human connection to stay sane and to have the human experience, which is what we're all here for, right? So when these social media platforms started to evolve, and then like the people were there and they were talking, and then they'd add more features, and then it was like, oh well, there's so many features, we got to get bots in here to manage all of the engagement and all of the negativity that's now spewing. And then they're like, oh well, we've got bots, what if we have these bots come in and like say what we would really like to say, but we can't say that. And then we'd have the bots get in there, and then other people are like, oh, well, I don't like what their bots are saying, so I'm going to make some bots, and they're going to go in and they're going to have debates with the other bots. And then people are going to see those debates, and then they can make their opinion. And then those people can come in and debate us as bots. What are we doing? Like, what? Why? Who invented that? Like, why are we doing this? The only good thing that I think bots can help you with outside of social media is managing that freaking email box that we have now. Like, why do we have email like that? Like, why do we chain ourselves to inboxes? But also, the stress that comes with emails kills me. The stress that comes with answering the phone kills me. I have these weird little quirks, and I think that it's because I grew up in this weird time of what is real, what is fake. Honestly, I've never been a fan of email. Like, I only send over emails honestly in hope that no one ever emails me, so that I can log into stuff. But it is an unnecessary evil, I guess, right? Like, we have to do that. I can't be talking on the phone all the time. You have to send me a message with the information. And I get it. Like, it is just an easier form of communication. And then text messages, I'm awful at messaging back. I just am, because I will get off on, I get off my phone, and then I lose it. Like, my kids know that I lose my phone constantly. I literally bought a watch because I don't know where that freaking thing is. I have no idea. So I have to call it all the time. As somebody that teaches technology, I love technology. Don't get me wrong. I don't love what has become of technology because humans have ruined it for other humans. Humans that have no idea how to have a human interaction have said, this is how you interact with people on the internet. And it destroyed healthy human relationships to listen to these people and to jump through these hoops that they have put into place for us on their social platforms, because just chatting with each other or poking each other or having a top 8 wasn't enough. And now we need everything really fast all at once, right? I don't want any of it. I don't want any of it. The only things that I want are the bots that clean up my inbox and reply to my emails for me inaccurately with information that is right, like, obviously, on my behalf, because I want to be creating. I want to be designing. I saw, again, in my late night scroll last night, I was laughing because I saw this one reel, and I can't even tell you who it was. I think I saved it. And it was this woman, and she was like, what do you do like on the weekends, or what's your favorite hobby? And it's just her with accessories and decor, and it's just the camera set up, and she's moving back and forth and like just different stuff in her hand every time. That's me. That's me. I decompress by, and I have literally done this since I was like, could move furniture. And my parents told me to clean my bedroom every weekend. One day out of the weekend, my job was to clean my room. I would rearrange it. I would move the furniture. I would restyle and reorganize all the shelves. My bedroom was probably like 90 square feet. It was very small. So I had to figure out how to do this. That's how I knew I was going to be an interior designer, from that day that I first rearranged my bedroom when I was big enough. But I still do it. And it's my therapy. It's my offline, like, remember who you are type of thing. And we all have that. For some of you, it might be reading. My husband's an avid reader and loves history as well. So he reads a lot of historical books and that type of stuff. So he's got um, male hobbies, I guess. But that's how he gets off the internet. My husband actually has stopped getting, like, he started to like phase out Instagram almost, let's see, probably about 8 years ago. He started to, like, just say, "Okay, well, this is silly. Like, why would I even be on here? I have way more other things to do." And so he stopped doing that, and then he, picked up a few other things here or there. But in the end, he watches like YouTube shorts or YouTube videos. And I told him about Substack yesterday, and I was like, it's like a lot of reading and stuff. Like, you might actually like it. It's just personal experiences and stuff. I'm not on there, but I know a lot of people are starting to get on and like kind of leaving LinkedIn because LinkedIn is dead. Like, first of all, don't love LinkedIn, never really have, because for me, it's not necessarily my clientele and it's very braggy. And, I would go there and get tech information and news, but I am not a LinkedIn fan. And especially now when everybody's like, oh, well, I'm just having my AI make it for me. And it's just AI crap constantly on there and like no real connection, which is ironic to me since people are there to really find jobs and there's like people are just losing jobs left and right. So it's just like, here, let me put out this fake information on this site where I really actually want to work as a human. But I don't know, that's besides the point. Um, so he actually saw this writing on the wall and was over it, and I think a lot of guys are. It's interesting. A lot of, males have just not engaged social as much as us ladies have, and probably because we were looking for those connections as women, especially those of us that are moms and don't get out a lot to make mom friends in this messy middle, right? Or people that, just want to make more friends, like women that just want that connection. That's why a lot of us have gone to social media and are still there, honestly, because it's fun. It's a way for us to meet people that are similar interests and then connect hopefully offline. But half the time now I'm finding that like the only people that I really am connecting with on these sites are ones that I've met in real life. Like, and I say connecting as if like, because I connect with a lot of people on social, but I mean, like, I know them, like, if I wanted to hit them up when I'm at KBiz and say, "Hey, let's go do something," like, I could do that. Not like, "Hey, we're online friends," like, "Let's go hang out every once in a while." Like, yes, those relationships are definitely still there, but I feel like they are not as many as I used to have, where now my relationships, because of the work I've been putting in the real world, those relationships are now more in-person, real life relationships and supplemental online, extra support online. And, it's funny, they say the people that support you online in your business are typically your online friends that you've never even met in the real world, and not the people that live near you or your family members. And for me, that was always true because the majority of, my parents weren't really on the internet when I was launching my stuff. Also, I love them, but they don't know exactly what I do. And maybe if they listen to this podcast, they do, but um it's funny explaining my job to people. I think my neighbors probably all think I have like an OnlyFans or something because I'm like never leave my house. I always am in sweatpants. I like, I do my hair because like you can see that in some of my videos. So they're probably like, well, it's a filming day or something. I don't even know. I don't know what my neighbors think, but it's hard to explain to people what you do when they don't live that life, right? Like they don't live that AI life or the tech life. Like they're so into what they do, in the real world. And so I had, I just had been craving that. And with the rise of AI, with the internet now just being misinformation, changed information, bots, like, and then just algorithm ran, you know, perspectives that they want you to have. Like that's just not for me anymore. So, what I'm doing is I'm showing up when I have to show up right now. And I took like a while off. I took a while off just because like I really wanted to decompress and do stuff around the house and feel connected again to not my computer, not chained to my desk. And I loved that. And now that I've had more of a taste of that over December, I'm like, okay, I have some changes to make. Don't want to come across as I don't like AI in this conversation at all, because I think AI might be the solution to getting back. However, it's a fine line because if we keep following the way that AI is going and the leaders in this industry, the CEOs of the large language model companies and the people that are doing the grunt work too, that know things, and hopefully we'll one day be able to hear from them about certain things. We just need to consciously know that none of it matters. None of it is here for us. And once you know that and know that it is being used as a weapon against citizens that are utilizing this free platform, once you know that, then you can operate accordingly. Once you know that the internet is dead, it lets you breathe a little easier and also take everything you learn and experience on the internet with a grain of salt and know that it might not be real, right? Might not be honest, and it probably is some form of propaganda. Then you can get through it and you can make informed decisions for yourself. And that's all I'm going to say on that. So take that as it is for you and what that might mean for you and your online experience. Okay. Especially those of you on Facebook. Facebook is awful. Oh, I stopped Facebook. I mean, when I sold my company to my Doma primarily because I had had a son and, in 2021, and he's a handful. And he always has been. And Facebook for me was so time consuming, and the hate in that community, like in all of those communities, just the hate and the division in, 2021 was around the time that this had all kind of started. I was like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to manage people's lives through a social media platform and say, hey, you can't be mean like that. You're a grown woman. Or, like you can't say those types of things. That's hurtful. That's not, I don't care. That's not my place anymore. And it, as a people pleaser, and I think a lot of us are, that took a lot because I started my Facebook group in 2018 for eDesign Tribe, and I lived there. I lived there. It was also very different times, like I had just had our first daughter. She was home with me. I was working constantly. But to build a community at that time, you had to put in the time. I replied to every single comment. I saw every single comment. And I did that for probably about 3 years. I lived on Facebook. I didn't live in the real world. And I think for me, that was kind of a turning point. And I don't think a lot of people know that when I was actually running eDesign Tribe, that like the social aspect of it and the people management aspect of it as an empath and somebody that like truly loves people. Like I loved learning about how everybody ticks and how and why everything works and just human interaction. But um it really killed it for me, having a Facebook group where I had to, like, manage that constantly, and for that reason, that is why when my Doma and Sarah Daniele approached me about potentially acquiring the company, I was like, "Yes." Like, I just don't want this Facebook group anymore. I don't wanna manage people. I wanna build. I wanna teach. Like, I just love teaching, and I love the human connection and the oh my gosh, I get it now, and that's gonna change my life. That one little thing that you just taught me is now going to make me more money. That's going to change the way I do stuff in my process. That's just going to give me an hour so that maybe I can go out and do something different with my day. And so that's why I do what I do. Not because I wanna be Instagram famous. If I wanted to be Instagram famous, I would pay for a hell of a lot more ads. I don't pay for ads. I boosted a few posts before, but those I have no desire to ever be a big account on a social media platform. I don't want to, and I don't really enjoy following those, as I said earlier. I like to look for the niche people that are people because I know that those larger accounts will sell out eventually. And I know that if you've got a certain amount of followers, that people want that, will buy that, and then start using it for bad things. So, and obviously not everyone, of course, but the bigger they get, the more mainstream they become on anything, like literally anything. I don't want it anymore. I like things that are untapped, that are new, that are hidden and human. And I've always been like that. I grew up in Vermont and I grew up with parents that taught me how to recycle from the time I was born and separate your recycling. And, you do this stuff and you buy local. You go to shows that have makers and you support local businesses. So if you have followed me or, seen kind of the things that I'm doing, I always want to go to small business makers first. When I was creating previous programs, that was always my intention. Um, I love the bespoke and the curated and the simple. I don't love the overproduced, everybody has it trend. I just don't. And I've never been like that. And I think that's why, I built the things that I build with that mentality because if it's been done before, I want nothing to do with it. I want to be the person that sets that trend for what is next. And I know a lot of people that listen to this podcast do the same because you guys are trendsetters. You're not trend followers, which is also, and I've talked about this before, why the internet doesn't know what's next in the real world. Like it can predict. That's what it does. It's a predictive tool. It looks for patterns. But if we have not created the thing in the world that is going to be the next big thing and then shared it with the internet, it doesn't know, right? So there's something to be said for privacy and not putting everything on the internet and just keeping a little bit for us, right? And so that's why I'm traveling a lot. So hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. If you're going to KBiz, I will be at KBiz. I'll be doing a next stage future of AI. They asked me to do that. So I'll be doing that little mini keynote at KBiz on the next stage on Wednesday. I will also be, there's an AI panel that I'm going to introduce after that. So I'll be around for Q&A. Okay, so check that out on the KBiz registration if you're going. I will also be in LA for the IDS, for IDS members, the Orange County chapter. That'll be in March. I will also be in Scottsdale, Arizona. Not Scottsdale. I keep saying that. It's Cravat, and I was out in Scottsdale with Elliot last time, but I will be in Seattle, which I've never been to before. Just flew through one time. I'll be in Seattle here very soon at your design center. So I believe I'm going to be doing a keynote for that. And that should also be March, I believe. I'm gonna look at my calendar. If you're a photographer, I will see you early March in Austin. We're doing A&D. I'll be speaking there for that, and then running also a workshop for photographers. Where else am I going to be? I'll be in Dallas, and then I may or may not be ASID conference. I'm trying to figure out if I can swing that after Dallas. So lots of things. This is all before High Point. I haven't even gotten into April. Okay. So I have been making sure that I'm out there talking to you because that's what fills my cup. That's what fills my cup. That's why I do what I do because I talk to a computer all day. I talk to a screen all day. Like when I teach my classes, I get to see a few of you guys with your camera on and I love that. But really my life is not, like my internet life is very like silent. It's not a two-way street. it's a lot of like just me talking at stuff and then people commenting back and then me being like, I have no time to comment back. That type of thing. I'm like, where's my bot to reply to all these? No, human connection. Also, why you're probably waiting on an email from me because I don't use bots to reply to them. I reply and I take my time and I write it, which is also why the writing and the grammar is a hot mess. You're like, Jenna, what does that even mean? Because it's stream of consciousness and I just literally typed it. Sometimes when it gets really out there, I'm like, okay, you need to rewrite this for me. And then it's like perfect. And they're like, did Jenna even write that? But I reply to my emails as a human. And so it takes me time, it takes me time to write and reply to comments on things because I want to make it as human as possible. Any interaction with me, like I teach AI, but I do not replace myself with AI. And I don't think there's another way to explain how to do that other than show you how I do that. And going back to, why I don't love email and all that stuff, like I don't love being chained to a desk where I have to sit here and answer a 20-minute email, a 30-minute email. And like it's just the repetitiveness of it all. When I can send a voice clip to that person, which I love voice clips. Don't love getting on the phone because like I don't want to be stuck in one spot for 20 minutes. Maybe that's what it is. Like I need a walk if I'm on a phone. But voice clips, I can get into a meeting, send a voice clip and get back to them, they get back to me. And it's just kind of an ongoing whenever you have time type of thing. I love that. I love that. And I hope that that is going to be more in the future. It's how I text now for the most part. But like, I don't want to sit here and type it and then have misconstrued information when you read it back. I feel like I'm sounding like my mom a little bit where it's like, just get on the phone and say something. She would never say that, but like she's no problem talking on the phone. And I don't know, like I'm gonna voice clip you. And then I'm going to move along with my day. And I want to hear voice clips. I want to hear your voice talking back to me. I don't want to read it. I don't want my phone in my car to read it to me. I want to hear humans again. Okay. So with everything that I said today, the goal was to talk about dead internet theory. And I hope that that came across. Now go ahead and like look that up and kind of do a little research as to like what exactly that means. But in the end, I think what I've explained from personal experience and the way that I operate, I hope that it makes sense in that like it is dead. And you have to find another way to reach the people that you're trying to reach, trying to market, right? Because paid ads, I feel like people just spend way too much money on paid ads on these socials. And I hear these numbers and I'm like, well, how much did you make if you spent that much? I'm like, that's crazy. Didn't you just talk to them? Didn't you just like go out and meet people? Like, we got to go back to that. Got to go back to that. And I know it's getting harder to do because it's scarier to be in places with people. I know. I have to go to my daughter's school here pretty soon. And I'm like, that, ugh, all that. But we have to do it because it's the only way that we get to what's next. And I don't know what's next, but we got to make it. The internet doesn't know what's next. We have to tell it by not doing certain things and changing our behaviors. So, as long as you're aware of these behaviors, and hopefully now, you can at least say, like, oh, when was the last time I did that thing that I love as a hobby? You know, Unfortunately for me, my hobby is my job. So it's a little bit harder, but that's why I'm turning everything off. And that's why for almost 2 years now, I have turned off everything on weekends, unless if I have deadlines or feel inspired. And I get off. I just get off the internet. Like I don't answer emails. That started like 2 years ago. I set boundaries. So I guess in the end, I'm just asking you to have a reality check as to the tools, the free things that you're using, the social media that you're engaging with, and the types of conversations that you're having. Are they leaving you empty feeling afterwards? They are. How do you change that? Because nobody's going to do it for you. So making different choices and better decisions and putting boundaries in place is going to be really important as we navigate what's next. We did it before. We'll do it again. We didn't have the internet. Times were great. And then we have the internet. Times were great. And then times are very bad. So we need to come together, remember what it's like to be a human, and we need to guide the future of technology together, because I don't trust any of these people that are in high power and have the keys to the tools. I don't trust any of them. And they do not have our best interest as a society in mind. They have theirs. So don't believe anything that they ever say. Just don't. Or take it for the opposite, because it's not what it appears. That's it for today. I think that was heavy enough. I don't know how this podcast has gotten so heavy all of a sudden, but these are the times. And I want to talk about it because not a lot of people are publicly speaking out about things that are wrong, especially on the internet, because where do you go to share your perspective on an internet that is owned by the people that you're speaking out against? That's why people are creating private communities. And that's why I've been building one since last summer, which is almost done. Oh my gosh, it's been taking forever. It's almost done. And it goes back to the basics of the socials. And it goes back to the top 8, the simplicity of it all, and the human connection. So it's almost ready. It's just been taking forever. Because I just didn't want it to become what social media is. And so I would build and rebuild and make something that has not been done before. So that is, but also taking little pieces of what worked well with social media. So that's kind of been the journey here. So anyway, watch for private offline communities that aren't your entire world, but are for hobbies, for finding people in your specific interests, and are self-hosted, not public. So you don't get the ads, you don't get the rudeness, you don't get the negativity, and you just get the good stuff. Look for that. That is my prediction, what's coming in the world of social media. I mean, I guess maybe we don't call it that anymore. Private online communities. Are they online? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to come up with a different term. I'm going to have to go look that up and see if there is one, because it's no longer social and media what we're building. It's the new internet. It's the new way of building connection, but utilizing technology and making sure that it is used in the right way, not a destructive way. There's still time. There's still time. We're not too far into this. Okay. We still have time to make the right choices and to get the people out that are making the wrong ones. All right. I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tune in next week for more AI tips for your design business. See you next time.